Good morning, my dear students. Today I am going to explain you phasor diagram of water. Different states of the water at different temperature and at different atmospheric pressure. So here suppose I have taken at 1 atmospheric pressure. Pressure remains constant. For that pressure, if we draw a curve between here along this axis, time till which we are supplying the heat, okay, and along this axis temperature in degree centigrade, right? Suppose this is here 0, means at 0 time. All right, now if you draw the phasor diagram, like this, okay. Now see, this is negative temperature, suppose minus 20 degree centigrade, okay. This is at 100 degree centigrade, 100 degree centigrade, okay. This is 0 degree centigrade. All right, till here, see, here ice, it is ice, here it is ice plus water, here water, and temperature rises. Here ice temperature of the ice T rises. Here temperature constant, temperature we write it as temperature constant. This, at this point, this phenomena or process is melting. At this point it is melting, okay. Here melting is start till here, so here to here it is melting, change of state, okay. And here this phenomena boiling. Now this is water, here water plus vapor, water plus vapor. Here it is gaseous state or vapor only, gas or vapor. Now here this process is boiling or vaporization, okay, boiling or vaporization. Now see, if we write some points here from A, B, C, D, E, F, okay. So see, this is the phasor diagram of water, okay. Phasor diagram of water. means different phase of the water at different temperature. Just see, when ice is at minus 20 degree centigrade or at some negative temperature, and we start supplying some heat to this ice at negative temperature. So initially what happens, the temperature of ice start increasing. It does not, means the ice does not melt before its temperature reaching to 0 degree centigrade. So initially when we supply the amount of heat, this heat is consumed to increase its temperature. So once the temperature of ice reached to 0 degree centigrade, then melting of this ice start, means 0 degree centigrade is the melting point of ice at 1 atmospheric pressure. Right. Now once melting start, here the temperature now remains constant, even though we are continuously supplying the heat, but still the temperature does not change. Okay. Thus here during the change of state, this is the process of melting shown here in the diagram by this BC, step B to C. And once the total solid, means the ice, will melt into the water at the same temperature, means ice starts melting at 0 degree centigrade, then it will form the water at 0 degree centigrade, unless and until total ice will convert into water, the temperature of water will not start increasing. Okay. So when total ice will convert into water at the same temperature, means 0 degree ice will convert into 0 degree of water and total ice will convert into water, then due to further continuous supply of heat, the temperature of this water, means temperature of this water increases. Okay. Temperature of this water increases, and due to continuous supply of heat, its temperature reach to the 100 degree centigrade, and at 100 degree centigrade water starts boiling, and hence its state start converging. Okay. So state conversion starts at 100 degree centigrade, that is called as boiling point, and the phenomena is called as boiling or vaporization. And this boiling or vaporization now also at the same temperature, means during the vaporization, this vaporization is the change of state from water to vapor. So during the vaporization also temperature remains constant. In the diagram it is quite clear, here it is shown by the step D to E. Okay. Now if total water will convert into vapor, then again due to the continuous supply of heat, the temperature of vapor will start increasing, and hence the vapor will start being dry vapor. Okay. So your vapor will become dry vapor. So this is the phasor diagram of water. You should learn it. You should conclude that during the each and every phase transition, the temperature remains constant. Now the point is that effect of pressure on the melting point and boiling point. So you should learn a formula that I am writing here. Change in pressure upon change in temperature is equal to a constant value upon V2 minus V1. By using this formula, it is obvious that if V2 is greater than V1, what is V1? V1 is the volume of the substance in initial state, and V2 is the volume of the same amount of substance in after change of state, means the volume of final state. For example, if you have 1 kg of ice having some volume V1, after change of state, suppose this total ice of 1 kg converted into water of 1 kg, then what is the volume of that 1 kg water which is made up of 1 kg ice? Okay, so that is the volume final, means that is V2. So if final volume is greater than initial volume, as in the case of when 1 kg water will convert into 1 kg vapor, then the vapor's volume will be more than the water's volume of same amount. Okay, in that case, means for the vaporization this quantity will be positive, so right hand side will be positive, and hence if delta P upon delta T is positive for vaporization of water, in this situation this will become positive only when if this increasing, this should also increasing, both should be increasing or both should be decreasing. Thus for boiling point or for the vaporization of water, if pressure increases, temperature should also increase, means if pressure increases, its boiling point should increase, and vice versa, means when pressure decreases, this temperature, means the boiling point of the water should decrease. As in the case of very familiar example, that what happens if you go to the mountains. So on the mountains water starts boiling early, means here at 1 atmospheric pressure it boils at 100 degrees centigrade. So when you go to the mountain, since on the mountain what happens, due to height its pressure, means atmospheric pressure decreases, and hence the boiling point should also decrease. Since it is decreasing, hence it should also decrease, so that the ratio should be positive. Okay, so the boiling point increases when pressure increases, and boiling point decreases when pressure decreases. All right, what's about melting point? Now see again melting point. If a substance melt and it is forming the more volume than the initial one, then the same conclusion we can write. For example, for the melting of wax, what happens if wax melt, it forms more volume. Okay, since after melting it forms liquid, so liquid has more volume than that of solid, hence this value is positive, and therefore due to increase in pressure this melting point should also increase, and due to decrease in pressure melting point should decrease. But there is an exception of melting of ice, since you know that due to anomalous expansion 1 kg water have more volume than less volume than that of 1 kg of ice. 1 kg of ice if melt, it will form less volume of 1 kg of water. Okay, that's why here in the case of melting of ice, V2 is less than V1, thus this value will become negative, and hence if pressure increases temperature decreases. Okay, means when we increase the pressure its melting point will decrease in the case of melting of ice. Okay, so these all are the effect of atmospheric pressure. Now one more point, what happens when some impurities are added? Okay, thus we conclude that the melting point of ice decreases by adding impurity in it for the ice, while the boiling point of water increases when some impurity is added. So you learn these all things. These all are the effect of change of pressure on melting point and boiling point, as well as the effect of impurity on the boiling and melting point of water and ice. Thank you so much.